afternoon, everyone. As Hassan said, my name is Rina Auliatuimani, but I know it's a tongue twister, so please call me Ollie. And it's my pleasure to moderate today's forum on a very exciting topic. As you can see on the slides, you see it's on agility and adaptability. Our panelists here, you guys, they will be sharing with us all their insights that they have from their experience on what is agility and adaptability from a career perspective. Right before we jump into the main topic, agility and adaptability, I think I would just like to maybe start off our forum, ask the panelists here one of the most common concerns among fresh graduates and expectations for fresh graduates in the accounting profession.
If you look at the pandemic, it has actually changed the way how we work, the working environment, the place we work, the people we interact. A lot more virtual calls in comparison to before. And the word, I'm not sure the statements, probably some of us that has been working would actually know work from home fatigue will probably be something that we have to deal with, right? So basically what I see because of that, a lot of our younger professionals that join the profession or join the workforce now may not be able to interact or having a physical conversation with peers in office or having a conversation with the managers or partners like what I'm sharing, right? So I see this as a challenge to the profession, but we need to adapt. I think we also need to advocate a mixture of 50% virtual and 50% physical. That has been something that I'm advocating to my team. I know working from home is an in thing now, but a mixture of physical contact and physical virtual working from home would be the best option. So I see that challenge. I see that younger professional in terms of gaining experience will be slightly different from my time. But I think the profession itself, I think the firms are trying their best to try to see how we can still transfer knowledge and make sure that even though virtually is done now, we can try to get that experience transferred to them as well. So I see this as a challenge, but in the firm, most of the firms in this country is trying to adapt to it as well.
Yeah. I agree. And the best of both worlds has always been like having a hybrid working model. That's what everyone's trying to implement right now. It's not easy, and I think it's a bit of a progress for every single firm in Malaysia. So it's something. It's a learning process for everyone.
I think for the new joiners to the workforce, I think the coaching conversation is a bit harder, like doing it virtually, and the onus is really on the new joiners, especially you guys, just to have that proactive conversation. Continue to reach out, to connect with the rest of the team members to make sure that you are getting the information and the coaching session that you need to do your work, and don't afraid to ask for help. Really, like just jump up and down and connect with the rest of the team.
So maybe I can start with Mo. Both you and Drew, you guys got your degree in Australia, and then you came back to Malaysia for work first before moving back to Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Like, what were your exact concerns or worries about starting in your career in Malaysia first? Like, did you have any of the concerns at the back of your mind?
Actually, to be very honest, as a fresh grad back then, you are not afraid to do anything. But if I really want to think back, will be like, do I know the right business language to learn? Like, cause in work or back in uni time, you speak to your friends, it's all the casual language and everything. But I would like to say, starting your career in Malaysia, you have nothing to worry about, because this is your home, and everyone are really quite helpful. Everyone are really quite friendly and approachable, and as long as you have the right attitude and you are willing to learn, I think you should be fine.
The willingness to learn, as long as you have that, you can go far. And in any situation,
I think one of my main concerns is really, if I start my work in Malaysia, whether the skills is transferable, say in the future, I would like to go somewhere else, like, coming back to Australia or even go to London or the US. But I think having been through this process myself, definitely, if I would given a choice to do it again in Malaysia, I will do it all over again, just because I think, like what Mu has shared earlier, I think, and also Casey, like the person that you started with in Malaysia is still one of my best mates, best connection that I've made, and probably that's the best period of my career so far as well.
The next question that I wanted to ask revolves around three things. Number one is what did you, all three of you did to learn to adapt to the culture? What are the tips that maybe you can share to the participants here? And of course, from the tips itself, what exactly are the benefits of having to work in Malaysia first before migrating out?
And one of the benefit I would say is having close to home connection, the Malaysian support as well, despite you being abroad, is one of the best things that we can get.
I think as myself, I think in order for me to adapt to the culture, what I always do is I always ask. Like, I'm the problematic student that always raise my hand and then I ask. But after I ask, I make sure I do write down what is being told by the senior. Yeah, never shy to ask, but also remember what they have told you. And then if you do something wrong or there's no mistake, but you have to reflect on the mistake that you have done before and make sure you never repeat it again. Other than that, just ready to absorb as many knowledge as you can. I guess this is something that's really crucial to me.
I think that as a partner now, I advocate to all my staff is actually same thing, asking questions, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions and understand. So you need to be bold at this. I mean, don't just keep quiet and do your own thing, and think that things will just get well. It's not going to happen. So if you're not sure anything, please ask. So being bold to ask the question and understand actually gets you. It's a culture I practice in Malaysia. I went to the US, same thing. I was not afraid to ask, and then I think people are just willing to share information. So that would be one key values I see in an employee or a team member of my engagement. So I would want that, asking me questions. And I told my managers and my team that if there's certain things that you don't agree with me, you can just ask me, and I may not agree with you, but at least you ask and you understand my thoughts, So just take note from that angle.
What was some of your experience as a fresh grad that you can recollect at the workplace that required you, what of the experience that required you to adapt there and then, and how exactly did you handle them?
Turning back to when I first started my career, I think one of the things that's is a bit different compared to uni, obviously, is the priorities and the time management. I know in uni you also balance between your studies and your extracurricular activities, but I think in work, because it is, I would say, a bit demanding in terms of the hours, and also, obviously you have to probably study part-time as well, although you have an option to do full-time now. It's really trying to balance that, and on top of that, it's really your mental well-being and your physical well-being without, overstretch yourself, and make sure that we have a good balance between work and life, and also studies.
I think there's a few things that I, as a partner or an employer, look at, in my team. First matter is actually having good character, having a positive attitude, and being a team player. Time when you feel down, you just have to refocus yourself and look at the positive things, and rather than just dwell on the negative. I can tell you, if you dwell on the negative, it's just not going to work well. So I'm a very positive person. Of course I complain a bit. I complain to my friends, to my wife, to my mom. So I do that, as a normal person. But I think I don't dwell on it. I focus on a bit. I spend my time just to do that, and then I focus on getting it done. So that's what I want in a team member. Being a team player is a very important trait to me, as a fresh grad. So just take note of these few things. I normally look into these key attributes of a staff because I feel that having that would actually enhance the environment in terms of the working culture and my team dynamics, I would say.
What did it take for you specifically to remain agile and keep up with the changes that you face?
We need to know what we want and set certain targets and goals in order to achieve it. So once you have set the goals, you'll be more focused to achieving it. And then you will be more adaptable to that. Of course, being very receptive to, I will always say receptive to constructive criticism. It's something that you need to just accept it and see, did I do anything wrong, right? Just reflect it on yourself.
think, provide some sort of solution. It might not be correct, but at least you show your thought processes, asking questions, providing some feedback of your thinking process. That would be helpful just to maintain your relevance and agile, adapt to that situation.
How exactly has the qualification helped you to adapt and be agile in your career? And how do you think it will, future-proof you down the line? Like, how do you think it will help you to maintain a stable future?
I think MACPA Cairns' compilation is actually very fantastic. We have a local content in MACPA with an internationally recognized professional body in Cairns. So what we get from this combination is we continue to get latest updates on what's going on in the profession. Models in Cairns exams are very relevant to the profession.
In MACPA and Cairns qualification, I think personally for me, it opens up, it acts like a ticket for me to start my career in Australia. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think CA is really the probably highly regarded qualification here compared to the other qualification, which sort of give me that adaptability or even that optionality in the future if I want to go, be like global sort of auditor citizen in the world, like going to the other countries. I think it's also highly regarded everywhere in the world. So
want to hear, last few words of advice from each panelist to the participants.
I'm a very well-being person, so before you do anything, please take good care of yourself, focus on yourself. Youngsters nowadays are quite fragile as well, so you have to focus on your own well-being, but at the same time you need to finish all your work, so you need to take care of your own well-being, take care of your health, yourself mentally and your health.
I said don't worry going into the profession, because it's actually it's not as scary, but you just need to adapt. You need to embrace. You need to ask a lot of questions and also advocate what Moo mentioned, taking care of yourself. That is very important.
Don't be afraid to change course. Everything you do, it's not exactly a right or wrong kind of thing. It's not wrong or right for you to be starting with audit. It's not right or wrong for you to be starting with a commercial company. There's no right or wrong for that. As long as you know, as what we mentioned earlier, as long as you know what you want, you know what your goal is, then that's all that matters. You follow your own path. Be a lifelong learner. Continue learning. Be curious.